Okay. So in my past live streams, in an attempt to really have something to talk about, I ended up mentioning a lot of the differences between different Naruto medias and how they go about showing the same thing. How the manga, the bell string test, isn't really that important of a thing. The most important thing about the bell string test, I should mention the bell string test in Shippuden, is it shows how Naruto has grown mentally, that he's not trying to attack Kakashi with brute force. He instead utilizes his knowledge of his master's likes and dislikes in order to get the upper hand on him by revealing the ending of the book he literally just bought him. Unfortunately, that's not represented in the game, but whatever, you know. Adaptations, some things are gonna be here and some things aren't gonna be here. In the anime, they more so elongate the fight because they know that people come to watch the show for a good fight, and so there you go. But the game is a much more... It leans heavy in the way that the anime went, where it exacerbates the fight, for lack of a better term, in order to sell how awesome it is, right? And it's a very interesting, it's very interesting to see how different adaptations handle utilizing the same material, I guess, for lack of a better term. Because even for the anime, despite the fact that it elongated the fight, it still ended up showing Naruto the most important thing about the bell string test, which is Naruto's increased mental faculties and capabilities, whereas this one doesn't really do that. Not to say that Storm 2 has done it in any kind of worse way. In fact, I enjoy this game a lot. This is probably one of my most played video games of all time, if I had to be entirely honest. So, needless to say, the decisions they made, the decisions that CC2 had made for Storm 2 were to my liking, especially so when I was a child. But how do you say? In the past, I definitely favored the manga more so than any other material that Naruto had, and that hasn't changed, honestly. It is what because, okay, so to give you some information on how Naruto was back in the day, it was a very interesting after Sasuke had left the Hidden Leaf Village to get the context for what was going on. Episodes, so Toonami had shut down after a point. I don't remember if the final episode ever played on Toonami, but I do know it's dubbed. I do know there's a DVD for it. However, that's not how I was experiencing Naruto. I wasn't buying DVDs, I saw it on TV. And when Naruto left TV, you know, I had to find a new way to experience it. And Shippuden would eventually go to Disney XD. That was the decision of all time. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Disney definitely didn't know what they had when they bought Naruto, but that's a story for possibly another day, or possibly never, because I never actually watched Naruto on Disney XD. For a majority of the time, when I wanted to experience Naruto, it was in its manga form, so my connection with the manga is a lot stronger than any other thing with Naruto. It also helps that, I don't know, personally, after a while, I definitely felt the slower pace of the anime. This is, in my opinion, I felt it the most during the point where Naruto was gaining control over the Nine Tails, the boat. There is a series of filler episodes on the boat where in the manga it was like, yeah, okay, Naruto's taking a boat ride to the Hidden Cloud Village, and then when you next see him, he's already there. In the anime, ooh, I'm pressing wrong buttons. In the anime, it takes a long time. And was very unfortunate because I was super excited. What had just happened in the manga was amazing. I'm debating whether or not to talk about it due to the fact that it's Storm, still Storm 2. Excuse me, this 10-year-old game. But there are people out there who haven't seen what has happened in Storm 3 onwards, so maybe, I don't know. I'm still contemplating that at the moment. But with that being said, what was my point again? Oh right, I have a much whenever I think about Naruto, whenever I talk about Naruto, it's always from the perspective of the manga, because that is more in line with what Kishimoto, well, it is what Kishimoto wrote. It's literally word for word. Although with that being said, it is interesting when you consider that, because it's not all how Kishimoto wanted. Most manga, most written work has been through an editor, so it's been, I don't want to use the word sanitized, but it's definitely been chiseled a lot in order to fit a specific demographic and a specific genre. A video title I saw on YouTube a little ways back was, what was it called? Why all shonen manga are the same, or shonen anime are the same. And like my initial reaction was, they're not all the same, but they cover a lot of the same story beats, which, yeah, it can definitely feel samey.